What's going on, everybody? Retro lovers. Um, since no one's making a whole lot of redo content, I decided that I would give you guys a deck profile for redo. Um, Obviously, I play a lot of Edison, but lately I've been more lenient towards redo format. I'm just having a lot of fun with it right now. It's a breath of fresh air, something different, so that I don't burn out on Edison. I've been playing Edison for about 3 years now, so it's nice to be able to enjoy another format. And yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with Redo right now. I kind of like that there's no brain control and does shoot sack factors. Um, the format is actually a lot more fair than people think it is. And yeah, you should definitely give it a chance if you haven't. So I'm going to be showing my Dino Rabbit deck with some spice. It's a little bit different than your standard Dino Rabbit, but it's pretty much just Dino Rabbit, except with some added consistency. Yeah, I'm trying to make this deck a little bit better. It hasn't been doing too well lately. At the last redo event, I think it was in Ohio, no Dino Rabbits topped in the top 16, which was very disappointing. I think the deck, compared to windups and Yugioh, it doesn't have as much speed. If you don't see your rabbits or tour guide, then the deck is very much just a vanilla beatdown deck. But I added something that will help speed the deck up a little bit. So yeah, I want to show that today. And let's just get right into it. This is for all the Dino Rabbit lovers. I know a lot of people don't like this deck, but you know, it's easy to play and it's a lot of fun. So first we have the 3 Sabersaurus standard and your 3 Cabazuls. You have to play these 6. Yeah, there's no other real options here. Obviously drawing 2 of either of these is really bad. So you really need to get to your rabbit as quick as possible so that you lower your chance of drawing into these guys. So then next we have the 3 Dragwibas. Yeah, he's solid. Lance makes him a lot better because 17 is kind of weak, so it can be hard to beat over things. But if you ever do get to beat over something, he's just like a 1-card Logi or a Dolka. So yeah, he's pretty solid. Not much to say there. He's pretty standard in most Dino Rabbit decks. And then obviously we have your best card in the deck, Heart and Soul Rescue Rabbit. And that one is a First Ed from Photon Shockwave. Yeah, you need to see him as quick as possible, and I added something that I'm going to show soon to get to him much faster. Because with Tour Guide being at 2, you know, if you don't open with one of these, then your deck's a lot slower. So we need a way to get to these cards quicker. Yeah. So these are like the best cards in the deck. These are your best starters. If you open these, you have a good chance of winning. Unless your opponent has Valor or Maxi. But even then, you know, it's not the end of the world if they do have it. And then to pair with your tour guide, you have the Sangan, which is, it pairs, like if you open just tour guide and you're just digging for your rabbit, you can just search him off your tour guide and maybe set like a torrential, and then that sets you up for a rabbit search off of Sangan. So that's really nice. And then for the other, I play one more dark. I play the Spirit Reaper. Now, this could be a Night Assailant. It could also be a Tour Bus. The only thing about Tour Bus, it's really good when it works, but if you draw Tour Bus, it's pretty awful. So I don't think that's a viable option. And Night Assailant isn't a bad choice because you can summon it with your tour guide, so it kind of lets you use both of your tour guides to search 2 themes from your deck. However, Night Assailant, it's just really a 1-for-1, and that's all it really does. If you draw it, it's not a bad card. Like, removing a monster on the field is definitely not bad. But I think Reaper has just it's just a little bit better, even though you can't search it off Tour Guide. But just being able to set this and stall for a while, it kind of lets you buy some turns to dig deeper in your deck. And if you ever do get his effect off and attack directly, taking a card out of your opponent's hand in redo format is really big, because there's not a lot of like draw power in most decks. Most decks are pretty slow, and when they lose a critical card out of their hand, it kind of cripples them. So you can kind of get your opponent on a lock there. And yeah, Reaper's definitely not a bad choice. You need to play the 4th Dark, I think, to increase your dark count, because I'm playing Blackluster Soldier. So having that 4th Dark is nice. And yeah, he's also just another 3-star, so you can make more rank 3s. So we're playing 4 Darks, and then for the light monsters, we are playing 2 Thunder Kings. This card is insane, I think, in this format. Since Yugioh and Windups are the most popular decks, this stops Windup Factory, and this also stops Yugioh armor searches. It also stops any synchro or overlay summons. So yeah, this card is a lot for your opponent to deal with sometimes. It's good against Chaos Dragons too, when they summon their big dudes. Yeah, if they don't have Dark Hole, it can be hard for them to clear this. This is another good opener if you don't see your Rabbit or Tour Guide. So I think 2 is the perfect number. 1 is not enough because you'll never see it. 3 is overkill because then you have too many normal summons. But I'm really liking 2 Thunder King. I think it's better than Effect Veiler, which I do play the 1 Veiler in the main deck, Ultimate Rare. It's not first edition, unfortunately, but this is still a well over $100 card. I've kept it all these years. But yeah, I think Thunder King has an edge over Veiler, because Veiler is not good against every deck in redo format, which it can be. You know, obviously most decks are playing Tour Guide. It's not that good against Dark World because their effects activate in the grave, but it does stop Tour Guide. So I think 1 is nice. It's an extra light for your Blackluster Soldier, which we have right here. This card, it can be a brick in this deck because you're only playing 4 darks and 3 lights in the main, which I side deck more, but it's not that bricky because you can make a Giga Brilliant rank 3, or you can just make a rank 4. There's plenty of rank 4 lights and darks to make. So if it comes to that, you can do that and you make him live if you happen to not see enough of your light and darks. I think he's too good not to play. This deck needs more bombs to keep up with the top decks in redo, because yeah, Yugioh just has a lot of good draws compared to us, so like we need ways to get kind of lucky against the top decks, and top decking him late game is just insane. when you have him set up. Drawing him early can be kind of bad, but then you just have to, play into him so you can set him up. But yeah, I think he's just too good not to play. You need that extra power in this deck because you really only have like Rabbit and Tour Guide as far as like a lot of power. Guaiba can be sometimes. Yeah, you definitely need more bombs in this deck. Since Rabbit and Tour Guide are at 2, we need more ways to push. So that's it for the monster count. It's 19 monsters. I think my monster count is perfect for now. The Reaper could be Night Assailant. That's the only thing, honestly. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about that. I think Reaper's pretty solid. Other than that, I don't think I would change anything in the main. And then on to the spell cards. So this is where the deck gets a little different. I'm main decking 3 Gold Sarcophagus. So in Redo format, Gold Sark is at 3. And this deck can take advantage of this card more so than other decks. So obviously Rabbit is going to be your main go-to search if you don't open Rabbit. But let's say, well, if you open Rabbit and a Gold Sark, then you can just do that and then Gold Sark for a Tour Guide to follow up, on the next couple turns. That way you have a Leviair play once you summon this. However, if you open, let's say you open, let's say you open Tour Guide and Gold Sark. If you open these 2 cards and you go first, you'll probably win the duel. Unless your opponent has Valor somehow or Maxi. But if you open these 2, it's literally a 2-card combo and it sets up your whole deck. So you just summon the Tour Guide and then you use the effect and you can just summon another Tour Guide to get that out of your deck. And then overlay for your Leviair. And then, you'll play your Gold Sark, banishing the Rabbit from your deck. And then Leviair, instead of waiting 2 turns, you can go ahead, detach, get your Rabbit back, and then automatically use your Rabbit's effect and make the Logia or Dolka with your 2 Dinos. So if you open that combo and you have like a warning, you're probably just going to win that game. So I think Gold Sark gives the deck that added consistency that it needs and the power to really compete. I think that Redo with gear gears running around playing 3 gear frames and such, I think it's too powerful and we need ways to combat that. So I need to see Rabbit as soon as possible, or just have this 2-card combo. You play 2 Tour Guides and 3 Sarks, so it's pretty easy to open this combo. I've tried Pot of Duality instead of this, and I did not like it because, yeah, you can pot into a Rabbit, which is nice, but then you can't use the Rabbit. You have to wait a turn, and then your opponent knows you have it. But at least with Sark, if you ban it, I'm willing to wait 2 turns to get my Rabbit. Like, Pot can be good. Duality can be good. I just feel like Sark, being able to search any card, it can mold my hand however I want it. So if I already have Rabbit in my hand, then I can search Tour Guide, or if I already had Tour Guide, then I have the Rabbit combo. And if I already have both, then I can just search a Heavy Storm or BLS, whatever I feel like searching. So I just feel like this card is super flexible. I'm willing to wait 2 turns to get to my best cards in my deck. So yeah, I think Gold Sark's fantastic. But let me know how you feel about it, and feel free to try it out and let me know what you think about it. But I think this deck needs that added speed to really compete. Even though Gold Sark's kind of slow, but you know, like I said, if you open this, that's an insane combo because it's literally instant rabbit. So yeah, moving on from that, we'll go to the rest of the spells. So I'm playing 2 Lance and not 3. I was playing 3, but I needed to make room for the Gold Sarks, and also 3 can be bricky. Drawing 2 of this isn't that great. It's not that good against every deck. Not every deck plays a lot of back row. But obviously you can use it in the damage step as just a attack reducer. So that's nice. It helps your Guaibas, which Book of Moon also helps your Guaiba. So you got to play this because of Guaiba. It's just a good defensive card as well. So yeah, these are really nice. I wouldn't play any less than that. I think that's fine the way it is. And then I'm playing, I'm main decking 3 Mystical Space. Now I know most people only main 2 and side 1, but in this deck, Rabbit, like your normal summons in this deck, are so important because that's all you really get per turn is just 1 summon. So you really need to clear their back row. And I just think MST is a little bit better than Lance because MST can hit the warnings and the Solemn Judgment. And that's the biggest reason why I'm playing 3 and only 2 Lance, because yeah, Lance can stop Bottomless, Torrential, stuff like that. But MST is hitting the more important cards, the Solemn Brigade, and you really need to clear their back row in order to get your rabbit summons off, because if they're able to stop this with a warning or whatever, then it puts you so far behind. You really need your summons to go off in this deck. So I think 3 is just mandatory, and if you play against like Dark World or Chaos Dragon that doesn't play that many traps, then you just side them out, obviously. But then again, you know, they're going to side in decrees against you, so you have to consider that. But yeah, summons are very important in this deck. And then obviously heavy, gotta play it. This is also a very good Gold Sark target. If you already have Rabbit in your hand, you can just search this and wait. If you don't feel safe summoning your Rabbit yet, you can just Gold Sark for this and wait until you get this, and hopefully you'll not die by then. And then staples, Dark Hole, and Reborn. Yeah, Reborn's not super amazing in this deck, but you know, still being able to make extra rank 4s is always nice. And Reborning Thunder King is never terrible. So yeah, you gotta play those. And then onto the traps. Pretty simple. It's just 2 TTs, and that's a 25th anniversary TT. It's beautiful. Mint condition. I was considering playing 1 TT, 1 Mirror Force. I just think in Redo, like, stopping the summons is more important. Like, Mirror Force isn't bad either. I want to play it, but there's just a lack of room. I don't think it's bad. It's just space, honestly. And I think stopping your opponent's summon pushes is just more devastating. Yeah, so that's why we're mainly just playing summon interruptions as far as like traps. So 2 Bottomless standard. It's good against basically every deck, so there's no reason not to play this. And then 2 Compulse. It's an XYZ format, so this card is insane, and it can also allow you to reuse your tour guide. So I really enjoy this card. You can just go tour guide singing, and then if your opponent tries to attack over your tour guide, you can just bounce it back, and then they kill the singing instead. So this is really cool. I like this card a lot. So Yeah, it's really good against Yugioh too, and wind-ups when they try to do combos against you. And then lastly for the traps, obviously we're playing the Solemn Brigade. It's a pretty small trap package. That's an ulti. Unlimited, sadly. Pretty small trap package. You could play Prisons and Mirror Force and all that. I want to play the Gold Sarks to speed the deck up more because, yeah, it's nice to have traps, but like that you need ways to get to your rabbit and to your guide quicker. Like I said, I'm trying to make the deck get to its pieces faster. So playing more traps to me isn't the right way, because then you're just stalling instead of actually making your deck work. So yeah, that's the main deck, and then onto the side. We'll get to the extra, I guess, and then I'll get to the side. So 2 Logia, ulti first edids. I've kept them since 2012, I think, 2011. I've had them for a long time. And then 2 Dolka. So you got to play 2 and 2 because they can both come up. Because even if you get, even if you only get 1 rabbit summon, you can still make more dinos if the game drags on. And you got to play your Pearl. It's 2600 vanilla. But 2600 is a pretty good stat line in REDU because most monsters are 25 or less. And then Utopia, yeah, he's really good. He's also a light for your BLS. So he can allow you to stall sometimes and draw outs, hopefully. And then Roach, I think Roach is solid. I was considering playing Black Ship of Corn instead of Roach, but I think Roach is just slightly better. Being able to just negate any XYZ summon. Just any special summon, really. Inherit summon. Yeah, he's a good card. It doesn't come up often, but, it could. And he's also a dark, so that matters. And then Maystroke is really good. He's also a dark. And his effect is just really good, being able to flip an attack monster face down. Sometimes that can come in clutch just to get over things. And yeah, he can protect himself too from destruction, which is really nice. And then the Photon, I don't think it comes up that much, but I think you need it. It's also a light, which is nice. So it gives you options for BLS. Yeah, it doesn't come up much, but it can. I've seen it happen. You want to make sure that you have all the options you need in your extra deck for anything that might come up. And then Levier, probably the best. Besides your dinos, he is the best card, in my opinion. It's just, he's insane. Being able to special summon a banished monster. It can also special summon your opponent's banished monster. I don't know if people know that. But yeah, this guy can take your opponent's banished level 4 or lower as well. So this card is cracked. And I wish I had an ulti, but I don't. Yeah, he is busted. Literally, this deck would not be the same without Levier. So yeah. And then standard Leviathan, he doesn't come up a lot, but sometimes you just need a quick 2500 beater. Same with Acid Golem, sometimes you just need a 3k. So he can steal games too. You just have to be careful with him sometimes, because he can backfire if you're not able to close out a game. And then the Giga Brilliant, yeah, he's really good because he's a light, so you can go Tour Guide into him instantly, and that sets up your Blackluster Soldier. And his effect, honestly, isn't bad because all your monsters gain 300. So yeah, he can definitely help you with some big pushes. Solid card. And then lastly, Zen Mains, he's pretty standard. Doesn't come up a lot, but you may need him to stall out sometimes. So he's there. Oh, and lastly is Chimera Tech, because we do side deck 2 Cyber Dragons, because Yugioh is pretty rampant right now. Yeah, the Yugioh matchup can be really difficult, and Fortress is a bitch of a card for this deck to deal with. Yeah, Fortress is a very hard card to deal with because 25 is just a huge stat line, and if we destroy it, he gets to pop one of our cards. So being able to Chimera Tech it out is really good, and I think that we have to play this going forward. And then on to the side deck. I'm going to ahead and speed this up. So this is obviously for Dark World. There's nothing to be said there. We saw, what's his name? Metaphos, I think. Yeah, he won because of Gemini Imps in the finals against Dark World. So, yeah, that card's mandatory. Dark World can be a hard matchup, so this helps a lot. And it's also a dark, which is amazing for Blackluster Soldier. And we're siding the 2 Cyber Dragons because this is just a good card in general. It helps give your deck some speed going second, baits out traps and stuff. And being able to just suck up machines is really nice. And it's also a light for BLS, as well as the second Veiler. This is just a good generic card. It's not good into every matchup. That's why I side the second copy. But yeah, it's just a good card, and it's another light. And then Gores against decks that try to OTK you a lot. This can just come in clutch. People do not see Gores coming in REDU much. So, yeah, he's pretty clutch. And then we're playing 2 Crossout for... It's mainly for Yugioh armor, but any, like, random deck that likes to set a lot, I guess. I'm still testing the side deck, but I think this is fine. And the Mind Control, this is really good in the mirror match, but any deck that plays a lot of 4 stars, then it's really good. Just being able to make an instant rank 4, but especially in the mirror match. And Soul Taker, it's mainly for heroes, but this is just generically good against basically any matchup. Being able to take out a big monster, because big monsters are hard for us to get over sometimes. And then I'm playing the macro Defissure. The Defissure is supposed to be another macro. I just didn't have one. Somehow I don't have 2 macros. But yeah, instead of maining this, I decided to side it in case you play against a lot of Rogue or Dino Rabbit mirrors. You know, this card sucks against the mirror. So, but obviously it's really good against most of the meta decks. So that's why we just side deck it. And then the third Compulse, you know, it's just good against all the XYZ decks. I think this is just a really flexible, good card. And then lastly, Chaos Trap Hole for, you know, light and dark decks. Chaos Dragons. It's just the extra warning, which is pretty powerful. So yeah, that's the deck profile. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm really loving REDU right now, and I hope more people get into it. Good luck to everyone that's going to LDS Vegas. I won't be there. I wish I could, though. It's just so far away from me, and I just don't really have the time, and I have the money, I just don't have the time. I'm busy with my work and raising 3 kids now, so yeah, maybe I'll hit up LDS Texas, though, or something in the future. We'll see. But I'm definitely hoping to play at a REDU tournament. I don't know if I'll play this deck, but I might. But if anyone decides to try this deck, let me know how you do. And, yeah. It's really fun. And, it's not hard to play, so, you know, you can breeze through a tournament with this deck. But you can misplay, you just have to make sure you're playing all your cards in sequence correctly. Yeah, until next time, guys. Peace out.